What's going on, fam? Back again. Today's show, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about hot topics, hot takes. What we're looking at are some of the things that are recently, or shall we say, right now happening in the news. And one of the biggest stories right now is a conservative by the name of Charlie Kirk was shot and killed the other day.
Assassinated.
And now what we're looking at is the fallout from that. So, fam, for those of you that don't know, Charlie Kirk is a conservative. He's extreme MAGA, or was, because he's not here anymore, but extreme MAGA. And young guy, what, 30, 31?
31, I believe.
And apparently it had a lot to do with the younger MAGAs coming out to vote for Trump. Was at a college, I think it was University of Utah, and was shot. So, what we're looking at is there's a lot of fallout from that. Now, while we don't condone violence in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Not at all.
We do understand that, we live in a violent world.
Mm-hmm.
And while we send out prayers to, his family, there have been some people on both sides of the fence, with this. Again, we don't condone violence. However, I can understand, where some of these people are coming from, because he did have a lot, in my opinion, be a divisive rhetoric that he spoke upon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's fair to call him a racist, but some people may have.
Agreed.
Let me ask you, because he was in your age group, so I didn't know a lot about Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, fair.
But tell me what you knew about him and, what you felt in terms of, could you even see something like this happening?
Well, for starters, I wasn't too up to snuff, but I was prevalent with, his platform, let's say. He was 31-year-old. He was engaged with the youth movement of MAGA, or the Conservative Party. Mm-hmm. He was a huge proponent for that. He tried to kind of awaken the youth conservatives, because I guess his platform started off with the moment that there was an involvement. And I guess if you look at the statistics and whatnot, he was a big proponent to bringing in the youth vote for the Republican Party, the GOP, or Trump, if you just want to hash it straight to that. And how do you get that platform? He would go to colleges, community colleges, and debate and stand on his conservative points, i.e., we shouldn't have transgenders. There's only one or two genders. There's only male and female. He would sit and debate a college student that was identified as a they, them, to prove that it's only male and female. And again, he probably pushed that conservative biblical aspect because, you want to reinforce the Bible, because, the right-wingers kind of do cling to that perfect Christian nation.
Evangelicals.
There you go. And then on the other side, you could say there's a lot of bigotry and racism in his platform as well. He was a proponent for removing illegals from the country. He was a big person to say that if you're here, you need to be here legally, which again rattled some feathers, because how did our great grandparents get here? They weren't born here.
No, we didn't ask to come here.
Exactly. So he might argue with an African American or even an Indian American citizen, but somebody that doesn't have white roots within this country. And if you look back, how did they get here? I think Christopher Columbus and them. But that was his platform.
So the debates then, they were always from the opposition?
Yep, it was would come to Charlie, because a lot of these people were against him. And you guys can look up at clips on TikTok or whatever. He was, I'm not gonna say rage baiting those people, but it was on those tender topics that could get a lot of people upset, which could have led up to where we are today. Because again, we were just looking at recently, I don't know how, but it was close. We just had a shooting in relating to a transgender person. And one of the last topics before his ultimate demise was about crimes and transgenders together. Again, a very sensitive topic, because you have a rampant issue with school shootings, and we're just passing laws about getting transgenders out of sports and schools. That's a hot topic. They have their rights. They don't have their rights. Again, he's dancing on all the lines that are very fine in a sensitive society right now.
And I hate that I didn't look this up, but you tell me if you know.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he made some money behind this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what was his? Do you know what his net worth
I don't know
was?
that I can pull it up real quick, but I know one of his organizations had about 800 branches across college
Was that the
campuses.
Turning Point or something like
Yeah,
that?
his
Okay.
Turning Point, we don't know much about it. I wasn't involved, but I know it's a large, very group. And if I
Okay.
can pull,
Because one of the things, and just looking at some of his clips, I could see how some people would, find his rhetoric divisive and
Mhm.
and offensive. I think that there is always a way that we can have dialogue.
Yeah, agreed.
And again, I'm not speaking ill of
Mhm.
of him, but I think that just the way that some of the MAGA Republicans talk about things, it gives almost an air of superiority.
Yeah, and you could definitely
You
say
get that
he exuded that.
white supremacist vibe,
Yeah.
And I can honestly, I was surprised, because it came out that the gentleman that they have, who is a suspect now, Tyler Robinson,
Young man.
he's MAGA.
White.
Yes.
Just to put that out there too. But yeah.
Conservative.
Republican
Republican.
family.
Yes.
And what's I saw a lot of memes or whatever about his shooting, and they said this is what happened when you give Democrats guns. But go on. I just saw that online and thought I'd share that take I saw.
And it's ironic, fam. We ain't laughing at the fact the man is dead.
No,
but
exactly.
how this whole thing came about, and talking about this Tyler Robinson kid, 22 years old, like you said, Republican family, father was the one that found out it was him. He said, they saw the pictures. Hey, Tyler, is that you? And he said, yeah, that was me, Dad. He said, but I'd rather kill myself than turn myself in. And he didn't kill himself, and he didn't turn himself in. They came and got him. So I have to imagine, everybody is this is just an outcry, But part of me feels like, where is the outcry for our brothers and sisters that get killed on a daily basis, that we get killed by police officers and, things of that nature? And we are purely innocent, not saying that, Charlie Kirk was, deserving of that.
Exactly.
But,
yeah.
This is something that comes, in my opinion, it comes with the territory.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you got politicians that are, worried and this, that, and the third. And I've always felt like, hell, if you're doing your job, what you got to worry about?
Fair.
And if it's time to go, then guess what? It's time to go.
Yep. Technically only the Lord decides that.
Exact. So it was Charlie's time.
Yeah, and a big proponent, well, I don't have his quote exactly, but a big message he pulling out is that because we have the right to bear arms, gun violence is a product of that right.
And
not saying come shoot me, but he did acknowledge the fact that because we have these guns, there are going to be some bad apples that use them.
Yet again, an irony.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't see, again, how we as a country can continue to go through all of these gun situations where we're having mass shootings and people are getting killed and we don't say anything,
I think we're desensitized.
Yeah,
I think that's a big part of it.
That could be, but with this, I mean, because I have to imagine watching the video, fam. If you haven't, check it out.
It's graphic and warning.
Yeah. But you know what? When I saw it, I said to myself, and this is just me being morbid, that's the kind of video I want to see from the Kennedy assassination. They always black it out, and I want to, I want to see the again. That's just me being morbid.
The brain.
Yeah. Because with that Charlie Kirk video, I was like,
well, yeah, we know what happened. Yeah.
Yes,
but again,
wasn't no sugarcoating it.
But again, I think that's a good example. When Kennedy was shot, that was kind of out the ordinary to have these type of shootings, especially a presidential shooting, but a shooting nonetheless. You don't just see that in broad daylight. That's startling and traumatizing.
So how do you think then that gun advocates and the NRA, how they gonna handle this? Because now people are, of course, after every mass shooting, and this wasn't a mass shooting, but this was an assassination.
Yeah, in broad daylight at college campus.
They come out and they call for more gun control.
In a press release.
The other side that's saying, well, no. So.
Well, keep in mind, too, following up with the Charlie Kirk shooting, there was a school shooting.
Yes.
Not downplaying one for the other, but again, I think we're so desensitized. I think that's part of it too. Like, well, we were just talking about that last episode we shot is another school shooting. What do we do? It becomes almost like a car accident. I think it's just normalized, and then we desensitized. So it's not like the JFK. Oh my God.
Yeah, and even then, though, what happened? What came out of that? Nothing.
Yeah, you're gonna
And
lock down for a couple of days and come back to
now
normal.
speaking in terms of MAGA and what they, I don't know if you've heard, but now they're for whatever reason trying to pull us into the fray.
Uh-oh.
We've had some HBCUs that
Yeah.
have had threats lobbed against them.
Mm-hmm.
And as a community, we're collectively saying we ain't had nothing to do with this.
Innocent bystanders.
How the hell are you pulling us into this Charlie Kirk thing?
Yep.
So now racism has reared its ugly head, and we ain't had nothing to do with it.
Nope.
So, I mean, what's your opinion on that? How do you think we got to that point? Or is it just MAGA related because MAGA means racist?
I mean, I would put it's some racist concoction because, again, you look at the demographic of a Charlie Kirk debate, whatever you want to call it, you know what it looked like. It looked like your shirt. It ain't too many of us. You just look it up, and I'm being factual.
I was looking
you
for
can
some,
look
some,
at the
some
crowd.
darkies around.
They were in Utah. That's enough to prove that right
You
there.
got football players on yeah, maybe.
How many black people in Utah?
But they wasn't gonna be there. I know
exactly. It was about 17 of them. They all said we not going together at the same time.
They was in somebody's dorm room playing Call of Duty.
Exactly. So I think that's a part of it. I feel like those are two separate things, but it's just some sort of weird chain reaction fallout. Because what does Charlie Kirk have to do speaking at Utah, getting shot at a Utah University, do with any historical black college?
Nothing.
I don't see any direct. I'm not the smartest guy, but I cannot connect those two dots. So.
But I think, what we have gotten to is just this point in society with all the race baiting that goes on. People want to blame each other.
Yeah.
And this is yet another thing that you can try to pin on somebody else.
Yeah, and that's what you see.
This is one of your own that did this. So you can't say this was no, this was MAGA.
Yeah.
This is just somebody that did not like Charlie Kirk and what he stood for.
Yeah, and the craziest part, like you say, it is that pitting against each other, because just on a surface level, the dynamic is brown is on this side, white is on this conservative side, and the posts were going just berserk. If you looked on TikTok or whatever, you're seeing all these posts. Democrats did this, but this was the day of. But now that you see the rhetoric that the guy, the shooter, had on a Trump costume, they're now pulling away. But the chain reaction was this was them, this was the Democrats, this was the transgenders, it was another transgender. But once we found out it was a potential Trump supporter himself, all that rhetoric goes away. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
That's true. That's true.
But still gonna paint it.
I want to, I'll toss it to you, and you give me one of your hot topics of the week, so to speak.
Oh, so you want? Okay, we're gonna take a little lighter note. Yeah. We want to chip away from the demise of somebody and talk about something a little lighthearted. And when we was talking about this, I think we see a lot of stuff on social media, of course, that tries to paint narratives in life. And I don't think it's real, but I don't know. Somebody in the audience that watches this might agree or disagree with us. And I see the one topic that gets beaten to death. And then I think it's just the black community too. So let me know if you think it's other words, or commenters, let us know. But, the big dynamic we see talk about every day is relationship. I think that topic is beaten to death for no reason.
And he's still beating it.
Yep, and they're not going to stop. So let's jump into it.
Uh-oh.
So I think a big proponent of our relationships, I'm talking about this color here, but is that men and women financially, the big elephant in the room is that we need to be 50-50, or we don't need to be 50-50. What do you think about that? I'm a single man, so give me I got a pet. I'm on my own.
You got to pay?
I got a pet.
It's just you got a pet, man. So, okay, if you go on a date, then are you expected to pay? Do you feel that you are obligated to pay?
That's a good question. I mean, I would by default, but I think I would be expected to pay. First, if it's a first date, or if it's just
dating, meaning this is one person and y'all go out frequently. Once a week.
Yeah. I would think if I'm dating somebody, I would be responsible to pay for the dates.
Okay.
You disagree with me?
Well, here's what I'll say. growing up the way that I did. I grew up in a house, had a mom and three older sisters. So I always felt a certain obligation in terms of making sure that they were okay. And when I first started dating, yeah, I would pay, no problem. But as I got into it and as I got older, I think with the different types or different class of women that I started, dating and whatnot prior to getting married, of course, um, it became less and less of an obligation or an issue because at some point they started, hey, let me take you out. And, initially, of course, I was like, nah,
Yeah, it's a little weird.
yeah. But if you with somebody and, y'all cool or whatever, then you know that, okay, we can go. It doesn't matter who's paying. If you want to pay this time, hey, have at it.
Yeah,
Now, just because you paying don't mean I'm going to go order, a tomahawk steak, but, I ain't going to order no White Castle burger either.
There you go. Yeah, fair
So I
medium.
think it depends upon, the level of the relationship. I would caution though, if you're starting out, one of the things too that men, I think some men get caught up in is, overspending. First
True.
date, I'm not taking you to no 5-star restaurant because then the bar has been set. So you're going, in my opinion, you're going to expect 5-star every time we go out.
But again, we talking about these hot takes, and I think you probably saw at one point where they were saying you can't take a first date. What it is, it's a list, I believe, and you can't do the Cheesecake Factory. That
Hey,
rules out the Applebee's.
hey,
You can't have a coffee date because the coffee is too cheap.
do
So
you see how extensive the Cheesecake Factory menu that
they
thing
said you
is?
can't go there.
Who said that?
It's viral. You can't go to
Okay.
you can't have a date at the Cheesecake Factory.
You wouldn't take nobody to the Cheesecake Factory?
I can't.
Says who?
The rules. I'm
Man,
telling you, these are the rules.
Okay, y'all can go on with that.
These are the
'Cause
rules.
man,
It's a
please.
whole, I wish I had to print the
She
list.
can get her
But
favorite slice of cheesecake after dinner. Man, please, you in.
I'm telling you, we're gonna post a poll on our story to see if somebody gonna let them go to the Cheesecake Factory. They're gonna say no. But I'm telling you this, then that's where I say, like, you say set the bar high. Where do you set the bar? Because okay, don't get a tomahawk, but then everybody was saying women's not gonna go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Man, you better go somewhere
Where
that's,
can
that's
you
middle
go?
of the road. You can go to what is that place? Black Rock or something like that. But I'm not doing the 5-star thing. And even,
Fair,
I mean,
fair.
with me and my wife, what's hers is mine, what's mine is hers. So that doesn't necessarily, go because the money's coming from the same spot. I think though that when you are dating, though, it's nothing wrong. I think as a man, I don't think you should suggest that y'all go 50-50. I think in my opinion, it has to kind of happen organically.
Yeah, I agree.
Let
with
her
that.
offer up. Hey, let me
Yeah.
okay,
It's a
cool.
pleasant surprise.
And
yeah.
once you do that, then you like, okay, I'm in there. Because that's
Yeah.
not going to be the last time that they offer up.
Yeah,
So
no,
the way I
agree
would
with
play
that.
it is if you pay this time, then next time we go out, I might up it a little bit. So to show my appreciation for you paying. But no, I don't think that, when you're dating, I don't think men should pay all the time. That's crazy. So, nah.
Oh, I don't know. We should clip that because somebody gonna disagree with you.
I don't give a damn.
Well, you're
But
not out here
I
in
got
the dating
mine.
pool. You
So,
not out here.
yeah.
They be saying it's pee in the pool.
I see why you can't commit.
You see, it's pee in the pool. You lucky. It's a different. But and again too, I say that because big proponent of social media. So like I could tell you, it's a list out here of stuff men can't take women on first
Okay,
date.
what do your friends say then? Your boys, y'all all feel the same about this? See?
My guy friend, well, they have a different philosophy. I can't, I'm not gonna put them out there.
It ain't look, you ain't naming names, but I mean, hey.
But yeah, let's see. What's a good word?
Man,
What's a good word?
we don't sugarcoat it, B. Go ahead.
What's the if you a ladies' man, you can finesse your way around some stuff. So, but that's not everybody. So I'm trying to capture the masses here. So
see, there you go. Okay.
protecting identities too. I got you, buddy.
Okay, keep walking that fine line. I'm start calling you Switzerland. Okay.
No, I gotta protect my associates. Come on now, you know how Secret Service.
Again, man, you ain't dropping names, so
they say I know Brandon friends with. Yeah, but
sports. We got a couple of different stories in sports. Man, Fam, we love our sports here at C. Here's the thing. You know, me and Carl, B, football, we
It's
love
that
it.
time of year.
Yes. Boxing, we love it. As a matter of fact, on the
Tonight,
boxing front, we got this fight tonight. Canelo versus Crawford. Who you got, B?
I'm gonna have to break your heart.
Man, if you
I've been a Canelo fan thoroughly, man. I'm a thorough. I love Bud, but I'm a thorough Canelo fan. I argue with my brother-in-law about this all the time.
see, what makes you think he gonna win? Because he bigger? Because his last couple of fights been
Well,
garbage.
again, I think the last fight he had was against a man that just ran from him. Now, yes, he could have chased him a little more, but do you want to chase somebody around the ring the whole time? We supposed to be boxing,
Mm-mm.
and I know Bud is a great boxer. He's got a perfect record right now.
Yep, 41-0.
But you coming up against a giant here.
You know what? I haven't liked Canelo since he lost to Mayweather. I know
Fair,
that was a long
fair.
time ago.
I know,
because
you
he was
can't-
supposed to win that fight. There's no reason why he shouldn't have won that fight. And Floyd, who I'm not a fam of Floyd Mayweather, I'm just not. But
Fair, understandable.
I wanted him to win. I remember paying that money to watch that fight. And I'm like, this dude lost.
But I think there's a script to it too. That's gonna be my hot take. I feel like it is a little bit of a script to boxing where sometimes somebody has to win. Argue me on that, but
Where the judges be? Yeah,
you know
can't.
some of them numbers be looking a little weird.
I think though that the fight, it has to be, in order for Crawford to win, I think he's gonna have to put Canelo down.
And
I
I'm gonna ask
think-
you.
I think though that that's the only way, because if he tries to outpoint him, Canelo's the champ.
And I'm gonna ask you, do you really see somebody putting that man down?
I don't know.
I'm gonna ask you.
I don't know. I mean, I ain't bet nobody on the fight, but still,
Yeah,
I'm pulling for Bud because I just love seeing his family. His mama is the epitome of a black mama out there hollering, screaming.
True.
And
That's support and love.
boy, if his family don't say hood, I don't know what does. That's why I love seeing it. I can't wait to see what kind of outfit his mama gonna have on tonight. It's gonna be something that screams
Loud and proud.
boutique. I know that. So, but now I'm looking at it could possibly go the distance, but then again, I like Crawford. So
I love
I
him
ain't putting
too,
no money
but
on it, but I'm just telling you,
still got time.
that's who I want to go with. I think too, basketball, WNBA.
Oh, you want to go with some hot takes there? Okay.
When I tell you these sisters, because now I don't know if you watch, man, but you know they got the sisters coming in now with their entrances, and
It's like, remember WWE when they used to? I used to
them-
remember the
some
wrestling.
some of them looking right. How do you feel about old girl Chicago, Angel Reese,
I mean,
and what she just recently said?
you're gonna put me on the hot
I'm
seat.
just,
I feel like
'cause I have my opinion on it.
out
so.
the gate, I feel like she is outspoken, and I feel like she's reaching for something that's probably not achievable at this point in time. Because I know she wants more money in the WNBA.
Okay.
But from just the little knowing I know, is it possible to get these raises to equivalent of even a guy on the bench in the NBA?
Nah.
Because from what I know, the NBA is dumping money into the WNBA to keep it afloat.
Because they've been losing money. Yeah.
So yes, I get it. I know she's bringing in tons of money, like her and Caitlin Clark. Since they came in, yes, I know viewers is up, money is up, but the financials.
Do you think she's jealous of Caitlin Clark?
I think so. I think she
Yeah.
feels like this was my spotlight and she's got to share it. And
But
she's
that-
upset about that. And I can understand it.
But here's the thing: as far as I'm concerned, from a talent perspective, they're not even on the same level.
Well, yeah, and this kind of comparing them as apples to oranges.
Well, I
too.
mean, because Angel Reese rebounds.
yeah,
She is
Caitlin
not
is
a
a
scorer.
scorer. Yeah, exactly. So you
Caitlin
can't.
will bust your bottom.
Yeah,
That girl is a real deal. And I think what it is, you know, Angel Reese looks at, you know, to your point, well, yeah, you know, we can share this, but she's not as big as Caitlin Clark. A lot of people would like for her to be that, but she's not. She made a comment last year about how her WNBA salary doesn't even cover her rent. You know, and I'm saying to myself, okay, that's a shot at all of the. I took it as a shot at all these other sisters
Yeah, because
in
in
the
my opinion, she's probably
WNBA.
making more
Right, because
than
I
her
think that
bench players.
the
Way
average,
more.
I think the average starting salary for a WNBA player is like mid-70s, 76,000 or something like that. So of course she's making that, but then she's got endorsements that she's making millions behind.
And how
McDonald's,
much was
Reebok.
NIL?
Yeah, yeah, and she had NIL in college. So I say that I personally think at this point in her career, she's a bit overrated. Because her skill set is not, what it could be, in my opinion. Because she got a podcast, she got all this other, and I ain't
Well, it's
nothing
a
wrong.
brand too. I think
Yeah.
also she's a brand.
And there's nothing wrong with growing your brand. However, you
On the
are at the
court.
point you are because of basketball. So I think that, for instance, as much as I detest Michael Jordan, being that I'm a Detroit Pistons fan,
Fair. Bad boys.
every year Jordan came back with something new to his game. So at the point where they won them 6 championships, nobody could touch him. Literally, because but
figuratively,
he worked every year. He got better.
Yeah, agreed.
And Angel Reese's, she rebounds. She might get you 10, 12 points a game, but
a double, which is.
And then the recent comment she made about her teammates, talking about how the team has to get better. We need better
now
players.
There's trade rumors afloat.
And I'm saying to myself, sis, you talking about your teammates. And then she came out, of course, and backtracked and said it was taken out of context. No, it wasn't. Because
we call that a hot mic.
The thing that we always say here, fam, is whatever opinion we have, we gonna stand on it 10 toes down. And that's what I think she should have done, is just say, okay, you know what? I apologize, man, because she did apologize to her teammates. But my thing is, if it was taken out of context, why are you apologizing?
Money.
So somebody, her PR,
that money button,
her PR people was like, hey, you might want to backtrack on this.
Yep, because we see endorsement deals are in trouble.
That's another thing that I look at. A lot of these younger athletes, they'll pop off and say stuff, not realizing because they got emotional.
And I was just about to jump. Do you think she has pressure of sorts? Because again, she's already in this is you and Caitlin Clark dynamic. And if you run the numbers, she's kind of losing that battle.
Kinda.
To her. So do you think there's a pressure as far as that to like, I'm number 2? And that creates that chip on your shoulder. That kind of produces that personality we see.
Well, but here's the thing. If it's created a chip on your shoulder, then this is what you do. Make sure you get your butt in the gym in the off season, so next year you can come back and you've already ascended to another level. Just let your plan do the talking for you. That's how you handle that. Because
but I don't see her becoming the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of the WNBA.
But you can work on your game and get better, because it's some hoopers in the WNBA.
Oh yeah.
And I think one of the things that I last year with Caitlin Clark's rookie year, people was coming after her, because I think a lot of the vets felt like, you didn't create basketball. You just good.
Yeah,
but guess
she was
what?
the second coming to Jesus.
Yeah,
and they were not liking that.
You playing in the league now, sis. So I might give you a forearm shiver. I might set a pick on you that throw you to the ground.
Oh yeah,
or whatever.
She ate a lot of those picks. I saw some highlights.
I think though that number one, it's enough money to go around for these young ladies, and of course their salaries need to be more. Because a lot of them, after the season's over, they go overseas and they make more money overseas than they do. But you playing at home, you playing in the U.S., so God bless them on that. But yeah, I think she needs to work on some things. I.e. her playing, her. And again, I don't need to see you. I'm not on social media like that, but I can only imagine what her Instagram looks like. A bunch of pictures of her with the weave in. She pouting her lips and skimpy clothes and all this other stuff. Yeah. I don't.
It's the brand. It's the brand, You're the queen.
Okay, go ahead. What's your next topic?
Well, I think it's a topic, but it's an ongoing we see every day. And you hear about this every day, and it's tomorrow, next week. Artificial intelligence. Where's that going with our economy? Where's that going with social media? And is it a good thing or a bad thing? I watched The Terminator. So and I remember, you remember when Skynet woke up, everything hit the fan.
What about iRobot?
Oh yeah, Will Smith, yeah.
See?
So we headed that way. You see on social media, people got the little robots programming running around New York right now. So
they got Robot Olympics. I saw that.
See? So good thing, bad thing, because it can go either way. Are you
Yeah,
for it or against it? Because it's here.
I'm against it in the sense that I think it needs to be regulated, you
Agreed.
know? I think what has happened is it's moving too fast, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because for instance, now if you Google something, it's AI generated.
Yeah.
What the response that you'll get.
Gemini, I think. Yeah.
Yes. And then if you do like, well, what is that? Chat GPT,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Hell, the president with the tariff thing, you know, and the chart,
Mm-hmm.
they turns out his people was on Chat GPT, and that's how they generated some of the slides. I'm like, are you kidding
Yeah, you
me?
see a little AI generated in the corner.
Yeah. And it
It's
tells you
cool, huh?
that AI may be incorrect. A lot of people don't pay attention to that.
Nah,
But
it's AI. They can trust it.
see,
They don't trust it.
and what I ultimately see is if we don't regulate it, to me, the negative part will be ultimately, even though humans are writing the programs, what's to say that the computer program won't end up being smarter than the human?
Yeah,
And
because
they
it's
can cut
learning.
out the human interaction to then where you'll have computers writing programs
Mm-hmm.
for other computers. And it's like, okay, where do we stop this at?
Yeah,
Because
and then that computer science major lost his job.
I don't know. How do you feel about AI and where it's going?
I think it's a, I think it's a great thing. I would say, but it's a
In
big
what
but in there
respect?
because it's advancing technology. It's advancing our workforce. It's advancing us. It's advancing itself too. So the AI we had last year is dumb compared to what we're seeing now. But
So you don't think it's moving too fast though?
that's where I'm going. That's the but
O-
part
Okay.
because it's growing, right? And a part that I think that's a behind the scenes, like a lot of people don't give it back to, like where is AI? And they come from these data centers, right? These are big, 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 big buildings that take a lot of energy. And where is Facebook, Meta? Where are they storing these places? Kind of in poorer areas. And I think this
Mhm.
is where it gets a little dicey because take a chat GPT server, generates how much money for that company, gets used how many times a day, how many times you see somebody, how do I cook this? Let me ask chat GPT now. That takes that data center, that goes energy back, and these things are producing so much energy, it's eating up the grids basically.
I heard
And that's the
too
part I'm afraid of where I see it's bad.
that in order to cool off servers, of course, air
You
conditioning
need
stuff, but you
tons.
need water
Mm-hmm.
for that. And to your point,
Tons of it.
they're in areas that are pulling those resources from the
Mm-hmm.
community
Yep. I
because you're
saw,
not going to find them in the suburbs.
oh no, that's gonna get shot down immediately.
See,
But in them lower income areas, you can sneak in for a cheap
y'all don't know
plot of
what this
land.
is over here.
Exactly. Because I
Go
saw,
go finish barbecuing.
yep, and I saw a little documentary. It was a lower income areas, rural, and they like those areas too because it's just a
Mm-hmm.
big open plot. But family had a house, maybe 200, maybe 305, within close vicinity of this data center for
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, I believe. And they took the little camera crew in the house and they said, let's go to the bathroom. They turned on the faucet, just drip, drip, drip. You know where all the water went? To the data center.
Yep.
So that's the part that even though AI is great, I'm fearful of that because we got more of us in poor, lower income communities where Amazon is like, hey, I can build a data center over here. I can't put it out in suburbia. I could put out in
Well,
a lower income
if I'm
area.
not mistaken, Tesla has a data center
Mm-hmm.
um, where they got massive servers. And to your point, in a rural area, and I guess part of it is because they know the community. I'm going to do all you got to
You're not
do is
gonna get
throw a little bit of
pushback.
money
Mm-hmm.
at the local officials, and they'll pass it. City council, township board,
Exactly.
they'll pass it, and you'll promise some jobs and all this other stuff, not realizing that the lasting effect is going to be we're draining resources from.
Yeah.
And as soon as the resources are drained up, guess what? We're gonna pack up and move someplace else.
And I think that's the part that we're not looking at. Like, yeah, it's awesome. I use ChatGPT. It helped me at work and stuff sometimes. But at the end of the day, because I work with people that build these, and I'm like, a lot of people, it's an ethical thing. Like, do you really want to build something that's about to put somebody out their house or, suck the grid dry? So great, but I'm definitely fearful of the impact. And I hope people think long term. Like, I'm not saying don't use ChatGPT, but be a little privy to what we're doing because this is not the industrial revolution. This is bigger and badder. So
And you see, I'm old school B in the sense that a lot of stuff I don't trust, and I
You don't
can't even
trust
say that I
AI?
don't trust AI because just the fact that they have that disclaimer on there
Yeah,
that
I
says
I
AI
get
may
it.
be
I
incorrect,
get it.
and I'm the type of person where if I have to do some figures, yeah, I'll use a calculator, but a lot of times after I use a calculator, I'll do it longhand
Mhm.
just to make sure. Not that I'm questioning myself,
No,
but I'm
fair,
just
fair.
like, okay, so I don't think that, if we can get it regulated, and they can put some controls on it, yeah. I mean,
And
it,
that's
it
coming
could
though.
be.
And it's on the way.
I don't know.
Because
I
you got
don't.
all those jobs where they do just like you said, it's a guy on the calculator cranking it out. You gotta pay him $15 an hour. Or you run it through that script on Chat GPT or Gemini, you gonna cut that job.
I don't know. I don't know. I think we got a ways to go with it. I'm afraid because it's moving so fast. Like you said, last year, if you look at last year versus this year,
Yeah, he was like,
it's
what's Chat GPT?
exactly.
Now everyone's got
Because
it.
last year I remember you could go out and create pictures and stuff. Like you could do your own little caricature.
Mm-hmm.
Just say a couple of things and all of a sudden it would be generated.
Come to life.
That's archaic now. That's
Yeah,
antiquated.
you could probably make a whole movie.
So,
They gonna replace us. It's gonna be Chat GPT. Here's the thing.
and
You
they
gotta be
got
careful.
AI in music.
Mm-hmm.
I think who was it? Timberland. He got an AI artist.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's just seeking attention. So I want to stay with or go back to sports.
Let's do it.
NBA. My man, Mr. Kawhi Leonard.
Oh. Let's talk about
Fam,
money.
yes.
Okay, let's do it.
So Kawhi Leonard is a forward, plays for the LA Clippers. And apparently, there's an investigation going on where it is alleged that the Clippers created.
Allegedly.
That's what I said. It's alleged that the Clippers created a company that they funneled money to Kawhi. So he already had his contract. So what they did allegedly was mask this company and say, "Oh, he's got an endorsement deal with company A over here." When the whole time the Clippers were funneling money into said company, and that company was paying Kawhi Leonard to the tune of what, 28 million?
Roughly under 30. I think
Yes.
28, yeah.
So let me say this. How do you think that's gonna shake out?
I'm not an economic expert, but I believe that's called a shell company. You know?
Because the company has since declared bankruptcy.
Yeah, and those good old bait and switches, how the money would go over here and the people would lose their money, but somebody would get paid the $30 million. I just think that was a little shell switcheroo that happened to get caught. And sometimes they get caught,
So what do you think is gonna happen to him?
Slap on the wrist.
But what about the Clippers? Because
Slap.
they
That's
said
the
this happened
slowest.
before.
Well, I think it comes down to money, right? So
Mhm.
Kawhi, he gets a decent slap on the wrist for being involved, but now you're talking about the Clippers. That's bigger money. That's bigger lawyers. So
Yeah, because I
they
heard.
can start out in court for the rest of our
Well,
life.
it happened before with another team. I think it was the Minnesota Timberwolves some years ago, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they have it's a cap on what you can fine a team, like
Mm-hmm.
a 7
Yeah.
million, 7.5 million. But also, here's where it really will hurt them: they could lose draft picks.
I think
And
that's where you sting them.
Timberwolves, when they did it, I think they ended up losing 5 draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Clippers, and my thing is, don't you get to a point if you are just wealthy? I'm not going to say rich because rich is, in my opinion, rich is nothing.
Yeah, well, I
Wealthy
know where you're
means
going.
you're
Yeah.
up there. But at what point is enough money enough?
I think
Kawhi
we
Leonard,
talked
I
about
don't know
this.
what his career earnings are now, but I'm pretty sure he's
okay.
eclipsed 300 million easy.
Oh yeah, that's probably one of his mega
So
contracts.
why? Because apparently his representative is his uncle Dennis.
Oh, so it's in house.
Yes,
That's even better.
yes.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
word on the street is Uncle Dennis was, hey man, look, we need to get a
You
little
better
extra
do
money
that.
on the side, because he did the same thing in Toronto, which is why Kawhi left, because Uncle Dennis made some outrageous demands, and the Raptors were like, kick rocks.
Adios.
But I have to imagine, man, you got enough money. Why you?
Well, I
You
think we
know,
talk about this like every other episode. It's greed.
it's just, it makes
GREED.
no
I think it
sense.
just comes down to greed.
I mean, because you've elevated to the point now where, you know, you can do anything you want. You can buy anything you want.
Yeah.
So why do you need to have more and more money, especially in our community? Because I'm pretty sure, I don't know Kawhi's upbringing, but he didn't grow up with no silver spoon in his mouth.
I don't think he grew up with even 30 million
So,
liquid. So yeah, but I mean, I think it's just greed at some point. Like even you think of the Clippers, did they really need to get involved with that for some extra money?
nah, but they
No, that's a
they
franchise for how long?
and here's my thing with that too. Kawhi hasn't delivered you guys a championship. Not to say that that would be worth it, but I
Yeah, I see
maybe
where you're
could
going at.
see it
Yeah, a little
if you know y'all
pat
was
on the
on the
back.
cusp.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time the Clippers got out of what? The second, third round of the playoffs.
But you know that preseason photo shoot is always elite.
All I know
Paul
is
George came and he took them
dang, okay, yeah, that
some good photos. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, all I know is
The hype was there.
Clippers ain't going nowhere, and Kawhi, him and his reps, they should be ashamed of themselves. But he probably don't give a damn. So he got a contract with New Balance.
But I think it's just
Yeah,
greed.
okay.
I'm a call it greed.
Call it-
That's my vote.
Okay, what's your next topic?
Ooh, hot topic. And in this climate, I'm a have to, I'm not gonna get too political, but ICE. I just want to talk about it a little bit because it's everywhere. ICE. I think y'all know what ICE is and the incentives towards ICE and what it comes. I think that's a tender topic. I don't even want to call it hot, but I know it's a thing. I think just looking, I saw like a job posting. You getting a nice salary, you getting a bonus, and you're getting your student loans forgiven if you join up with ICE. But where are the incentives for being a nurse, being a doctor?
Keep it on that. Here's the way that I see it. Because they walking around with masks on, you can't even be proud of that job. Well, I mean, where you gonna go as an ICE agent to say, "Yeah, I work for ICE"? You are afraid to tell anybody. If I got a cousin or a brother that's ICE, I ain't telling nobody.
I don't think none of us would sign up for ICE.
Well,
You can wear a
don't say that
mask.
because they talking about them
That's
bonuses.
a good paycheck, though. I'm not even. See,
Okay.
I don't need. Hey, I don't need. I'm just saying, if you want $100,000 and a $30,000 bonus, that does look attractive.
Yeah, okay. Then after taxes, what they look like,
and you get your student loans forgiven.
It's not worth it to me. It's not because I think just from a moral standpoint, I could not see, going out doing some of the things that they're doing.
Oh yeah, agree,
because
100%.
it reminds me of things like Gestapo tactics with Hitler, where they was just coming and grabbing people. That's what they're doing.
They was getting paid to do it. They got paid good money back then.
But I'm just saying, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing that I grabbed somebody out of the car, and I'm not gonna say it wasn't legal, but at the same time, what's my provocation for grabbing this person? Just because of the way they look, because I hear them talking in a language that is un-American?
Cha-ching, I'm telling you.
You're not talking American.
But I too, when I saw how they were doing the job postings, I think economically we're not in a good spot already. So I think that's part of it too. Because I can tell you there's a lot of people that are probably struggling to make ends meet. And if you see that, I think that's very attractive, regardless of the.
Don't you think it's going to be temporary though?
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, because even looking at stuff like the National Guard and stuff like the stuff is, and the National Guard. Here's the thing that I'll say: you are what they call a weekend warrior. So the National Guard that has been moved into these cities, these are people that have been taken from their 9-to-5 jobs. They're bread and butter, their money. And I'm gonna tell you, the active duty pay that they're getting is garbage. It's not anything.
They're not getting ICE pay, so yeah.
So my thing is, I have to wonder how invested or how engaged are these people that, the National Guardsmen that are going into the city, the ICE agents, because again, you could be in your own community and you start looking at, wait a minute, that's Johnny. Hey man, what hit?
Cha-ching.
Yeah.
So I feel
so
like
now
that's
next
a big part
Johnny,
of it.
ICE agent. You can't go to the barbershop. You can't. So it's a lot to be said with it. And then what I look at too is, for me, it screams an air of desperation where
Yeah,
you
and that's
putting
what I'm
out.
seeing.
Yeah, because how is it helping the economy? You spending more of my money because
Exactly.
if you
Because
ask
who's
me,
funding that salary?
yeah, we are.
That's not a
Because if you
taxpayer.
ask me, hey man, you want us to put your taxes to or hire more ICE agents to grab up your cousins off the street? No. Oh.
Too late. There's no ass. I didn't vote on that. I didn't vote on no ICE payment plan.
Man, so it's something that, I think that ultimately, and I mentioned before, something's gonna happen. With all these ICE raids and stuff, I believe there's going to be an incident. Somebody is gonna be like, I just saw a story the other day where they shot and killed somebody. ICE was trying to
Yeah, yep.
pick up somebody,
Mhm.
and the guy drove off. I don't know if he ran over the ICE agent or dragged him or whatever, but they shot and killed the guy.
Yep.
And I would love to know what that guy's backstory. Is he a criminal, or was he just here illegally? Because most of the immigrants that are here illegally, it's because they're trying to make a better life.
Yeah, they're trying to get out of.
They're working, they're paying taxes,
Mhm.
just don't have the citizenship.
But once they don't have the citizenship, you're demonized. And
Okay.
again, I think people get, like we just say, regular people become the school shooters and get radicalized. I think those guys are radicalized in a sense too.
Yeah, I mean that.
And then you're getting paid to be radicalized.
Yeah,
That's probably the ultimate high
because you
for
have to
them.
imagine it. Yeah, and to that point, it's some ICE agents too that's loving it.
Yeah, then I think it makes it even worse because it's probably some of them like the Proud Boys. That was free. So you telling me I can get paid to be a Proud Boy?
Man, and carry a gun, and ain't got to answer no questions.
I go from
I
making
ask questions, I don't
Yeah.
answer them.
And I'm gonna say I'm not judging nobody, but I can say as a Proud Boy, I bet your salary could have went from $27.85 to $137. You gonna make that jump. So that's just my take. I'm curious. It's out there and watch out. And
I wanted to celebrities. I thought this is one thing that gets me. Athletes, entertainers, the whole thing. And I don't know if you've ever seen it, or I've experienced it a couple of times. Seeing celebrities, because they have this saying where they say you should never meet your hero. And I'm thinking, fam, the thought behind that is they will disappoint you. Well, I've seen some celebrities that certain interactions have turned me off.
Understandable.
I got a couple of different examples. One was Steve Harvey. I didn't personally experience it, fam, but it was told to me, and I'm pretty sure the person was telling the truth. If you don't know, I'm not a Steve Harvey fan. He's not funny.
Did you like the book?
I didn't read the book.
Yeah.
If I had it, it'd probably be a doorstop.
I don't like him because of the book, but proceed.
It was when Detroit hosted Super Bowl, and a friend of mine was working security, and he happened to be at a party that Steve Harvey and nephew Tommy were at. And things were winding down, and he overheard two of them talking. They said nephew Tommy was like, "Unc, let's hang out for a minute," or whatever the case may be. And he was like, "Okay, cool." And he said at one point, Steve was like, "Man, I'm getting ready to go." And nephew Tommy was like, "Well, let's mingle with the people, whatever. We got fans here, want to sign autographs, blah, blah, blah." And Steve Harvey was like, "Man, F these fans.
But we bought your book.
F these fans." And I think that
and the suits.
To hear this though, and just watching and seeing, he has this air of arrogance about him. And then the book didn't help either, because again, I've always said, who the hell are you to give women advice on relationships when you're not a professional? You don't have any degrees on therapy. You haven't studied this. It's just some crap you spouting off.
So we could write a book. We should look into that to see. We're gonna work on that.
Do a money grab.
Don't say that. Then you messed it up already. But go ahead. We can't write the book no more.
They'll still buy it. Somebody
All right, let's go.
Another one was a personal experience of mine. Rick Mahorn
Ah.
played for the Pistons. Me and my youngest son, This is when the Pistons were at the Palace some
Mhm.
years ago. Went to a game, and we had the opportunity. We were in a suite. No, I'm sorry, we had courtside seats.
Okay.
Fam, I didn't buy them; they were given to me. But part of it was you got to eat in a certain section with people that had courtside seats. It was like in a special area
The
up where the
haves
suites
and the
were.
have-nots.
Of course.
Okay.
So we sitting there, and Rick Mahorn comes in, and he was, I think, the radio broadcaster for the Pistons at the time,
Mhm.
and he stopped at a table near us. Um, Bunch of Caucasians. He chatting it up, ha ha ha, yeah 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 yeah, yeah okay. So I told my son that's Rick Mahorn, and he's like, I'm like, dude, that's Rick Mahorn. So I'm telling him about it. So I
Mhm.
said, well, let's see if we can get a picture with him. So I stand up, I say, hey, Rick, how you doing, man? Hey, I'm doing good, brother. I say, man, can me and my son get a picture with you? Yeah, your son gonna have to wait, man. I gotta go get this game. But I just saw you
Hmm.
cackling with this table full of white folks,
Oh,
but I asked you for a picture. You don't have to. Okay. Needless to say,
yeah.
fam, I'm not a Rick Mahorn fan anymore. F him. Um,
Understandable. A little
I saw
irritating.
another one, and this was an example that I saw. Sam Jackson, love Sam Jackson. And he was some show. No, it was a red carpet, and he was
Oh,
walking
okay.
in, and somebody asked him a question or whatever, and the way that he looked at this person asking the question, and the way that he answered it was kind of like this look of disdain.
Maybe he wasn't
And
having a good day.
okay. Here's my point with that. I'm glad you said that.
A
If you're not having a good
little rough
day,
day.
stay your butt at home. Don't be, especially if you are a celebrity, and I only say that to say certain things rub me the wrong way. And that's one,
Fair.
I mean, granted, I'm still a Sam Jackson fan.
Okay. You're
Maybe he
not.
was having a bad day, but
Yeah,
still,
you know.
that's not something that you want to project. There are other celebrities that you've heard wonderful stories about where you have yet to find anybody that'll say anything bad. I just heard one about Nicole Kidman,
Hmm.
Keanu Reeves. They say,
Yeah, no,
and fam,
Neo's a good
I love
man.
my John Wick. But I think the last John Wick movie, he bought all of the stuntmen Rolexes and personalized them, and everybody says he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Man, I'll let
Brad
John Wick
Pitt.
beat me up for a Rolex. Shoot.
Brad Pitt's another one. And these
Hmm.
are people that, you don't hear any bad stories about. But I would just, caution a lot of celebrities. Listen, I'm not saying that the audience has made you, however, if you're having a bad day, just stay at home. And that's just me being me. Because my thing is, I know if I'm having a bad day, you're not gonna be around. You don't want to be around me. I don't want to be
Yeah,
around
no press
anybody else.
conference. I get you. I get you. No press
So,
conference.
but yeah, that's just me talking about. Okay,
Yeah, celebrity.
last one. B. We gonna.
Last one. Okay, all right. I'm gonna try to leave this one open ended so we can spark some,
Some
commentative
comments.
discussion, and I'm gonna pull it back to where we are right now, social media.
Mm.
And the question is, we live in a social media age where it's filters. You post your highlight reels. You only see the good and the bad. You got the IG models and the six pack and the BBL. I could go on for days about all these characteristics, but my question I want to put out there is social media really showing our true self?
No.
And why is that? Because I'm back in the day, Facebook was just you was the guy, you had your 27 friends, and you post me and Steve playing pool, and now it's different. So you got people only you can only post if you go to Mexico on Tuesday. If you can't go to Mexico, you can't post no more. If you don't have your foreign car, you can't post nothing. If you
Mm.
don't have a stack of money, you can't post nothing. But what if you're just a regular guy?
I think that there is such a need for people to be liked. Yeah, I remember when Facebook first came out.
Wasn't even for everybody. It's for college students, I believe.
I was playing on a company softball team,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a game. And I was coming back to the car after the game, and I overheard this guy on the other team talking to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about Facebook. And he was like, man, I got so many friends. Facebook said I had enough friends. I couldn't, I just, and I'm saying to myself, I didn't know too much about Facebook at the time.
Yeah,
What you mean
fair,
you got,
fair.
and then I found out, I was like, so you bragging because These aren't your actual friends. And then I think people, if you look at the origin of Facebook,
Yeah, so it's
Zuckerberg did it because he wanted to get girls.
at college only.
Yeah.
Now it's
And now it has evolved into this, in my opinion, runaway train. Because it's morphed into some crazy stuff. And one of the things that I see is people my age in their 50s on Facebook, like we're in middle school. I don't need to see a picture of your plate at dinner. I don't need you to
why.
tell me that your boo took you on a cruise
But
or
that's what it's for.
you
Well,
got a new
what is it
car.
for then? That's my question.
And again, it has created people that are obsessed with, look what I got.
Yeah,
And
I agree with
that even on other social media platforms,
Well, I think it's all the same across the board now.
but when people are flossing 95% of the time, they lying. So you can show
I
me a
heard some
picture of you and
stories.
your husband booed up, but last week he was probably choking you out, slapping you around. But now
We
all of a
don't
sudden,
condone domestic violence.
he
So
the
see,
greatest
here's the
thing since
thing.
sliced bread, man.
But yeah, that happens. But I feel like that's a kind of a I don't know how to describe it, but I think we kind of victimized by that because on this, you one person, and then on the outside you a whole nother person.
Is that
And
for
it's
everybody though? That's not. I mean,
well for
you
some
know me.
people,
I'm the
yeah.
same way all the time.
But you know if you follow one guy on social media, it's all glitz and glamour, and then you come over to his house and this the air mattress on the floor, and you like, bro, what is this? But you confused because you just saw the Rolex, and then
That Rolex wasn't real.
well, what if it was and you just didn't have a house?
Well, that
Just
too.
live in the
You
car.
got. Well, yeah, you got
Is it a catfish type thing or what is it?
you got to Escalade and you stay in a studio apartment. So they out
You
there.
got them 24-inch reels though. He post that on his story. But that's a question I wonder because I feel like it's a weird dynamic social media has created, and I want people to let us know in the comments. What do we do with it?
Do you think
Because
you fed into it?
man, you see my Instagram page. It's blank.
I don't post anything.
Instagram told me to make a post.
It's
But
like
I'm
they
not talking
nudged you.
But
Hey,
you
man,
see, but even then, why I gotta nudge you to make the post? So
they just want you. Come on.
but yeah, that's my whole thing because I feel like it's doing people a disservice, and then you have a younger generation coming up, and I don't know this facts and statistics, but they say Gen Z is suffering because social media is causing all this comparison, and thief is the comparison and joy, and then the kids is on TikTok just sad scrolling.
And they have, I think, what it has created is a lack of socialization skills.
Yeah, and
my youngest son dated this young girl just recently, and I remember asking him how they met, and he just kind of looked off to the side. So I asked her how they met, and she
he
was
slid
like,
in the DM.
Instagram.
That's how it goes nowadays.
She made a post about how she was coming back home from college, and she wanted to go out to eat, and that's how they started.
That's how people date nowadays, though.
Hey,
Yeah.
It,
But be careful because again, with
Yeah.
the social media, we talking about sports, the Shannon Sharp thing can happen. So that's why I think it's kind of it can be good too because you can
Unc just
network
didn't.
and
Unc don't know the
but
game.
you can get Shannon Sharp. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious what our fans think. Are you a pro social media or against it? Because we own it too. We post it on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot. So
Cool.
I just want to see what the deal is.
Fam, you heard it from B. So we want you guys to share the episodes, like them, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Look us up, check us out, drop comments in, and we'll be putting a poll on for this particular episode. But we want to thank you for being with us. As always, we want you to stay prayerful, stay positive, stay patient, stay peaceful. See you guys next time.